If I can show you how to build a business without needing to spend any money, a few things happen. Number one, there's not as much fear. Because if you don't have to spend any money on it, when I started my first business in 2003, I called it my £23,000 MBA. I spent the equity in my house launching a business. I had the opposite of confidence. I had overconfidence, right? So what spending zero money or very little money on a business does is it helps to build a little bit of confidence. Because if it doesn't go how you want it to go first time round, if you've spent a load of money, it's really tough to bounce back from that. From personal experience, it took me a couple of years to bounce back from my first business idea. So we take the number down, spend as little money as possible, because I want you to think about business differently. If you want to change the way you make money, I need to help you change the way you think. What do you actually need? What most people will tell you when you start a business, it's something that's ingrained in our DNA in every single country we've been to, folks, is that if you want to start a business, you need funding. Right? You might have even been told that by a business advisor or a bank manager or an accountant. What funding are you going to get to start your business? Well, funding is a code word, isn't it, folks? It's a code word. Funding means debt. And debt, this stuff, when is the worst possible time to borrow money in business? At the beginning, because you haven't got any customers yet, right? So, but this is how business is taught in every single country in the world. It's taught in schools, it's taught in colleges, it's taught in universities. You'll get taught it by bank managers, by traditional business advisors, based on the belief that it takes money to make money. This is simply not true in 2026. Because this is your entrepreneur's training course. This is your business owner's way of thinking differently about money. It's a bootstrapping tactic I'm going to give you. Just in case any of you are thinking of getting a loan, this is the thing that I need to tell you. 40%, the magic number of 40% of people who take up startup loans from the UK, and this is data from the British Business Bank, funded by the UK taxpayer. 40% of people that take a loan will default on their loan for a startup loan. 40%. That's 40 people out of every 100 business dreams are ruined. Becky, yeah, you need a business plan. No, you don't. No, you don't. This is 2026. I can build a website in 8 minutes. I can text 20 strangers in less than 10 minutes and tell them about my business. Do I need a business plan for that? No. What are business plans for? Business plans are designed as a tool to get the F word. That's right. No, not that one. Funding. And funding is a code word for debt. So we can actually, what I'm saying to you is you don't need a business plan. That's a device that's mostly used to get funding, but it might be useful to plan your business. But how are you going to plan your business if you don't know what you're selling and who you're selling it to, and you don't know whether people like it when you pitch it, and you don't even know yet whether you're going to like this business? Because at the moment, for many of us, for those of us that haven't started yet, it's a hallucination. Okay, I've got this idea about what business is going to be like. And when you actually get off of the stand and onto the field, things happen, things change. So the subtle difference here is, am I starting a business or am I starting in business? That's the distinction I want to make. If I'm starting a business, in my head, I've got, well, there's a legal element to that. Isn't it? Do I need a limited company or am I a sole trader? Do I need to register with somebody for this and that and the other if I'm starting a business? But if I'm starting in business, what that means is I'm having sales conversations with people. I'm building a website. I'm building an Instagram account. I'm experimenting. That's the word that I'm going to install in your brains this evening. We'll be running a series of business experiments together. The more of those experiments that work, the closer you are to having a business. So when I say the word experiment, what does it mean to you? What does the word experiment mean to you? The great thing about an experiment is it doesn't need to work. When you run an experiment, you're going to get results. You might like the results, you might not like the results. But the word experiment means I'm just going to have a go at something and I'll measure what happens. And that's what this next bit is all about, folks. So we love an experiment because done is better than perfect. By the very nature that you've turned up at this course, you are an experimenter, folks. So think about mini experiment methodology. That's the bit that I'm going to teach you now. It's really about focus. And by focusing, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make a decision for the rest of your life. It just means you're making a decision for your next mini experiment. And actually, we've been running this thing since 2012. It still feels like experiments to me. Every day, every week, every month, we're running new experiments. What I'm doing for you here and next week and the other weeks is breaking it down into steps that anyone can follow. So I'm giving you the steps this evening. It's the steps. We're starting that bit right now. So if you're a rebel, you're an experimenter. So I'm going to give you 5 ways to start for free. Number 1, what can you get for free? So when you think about the stuff that you need, I need stock, I need equipment, I need business cards, I need a logo, I need flyers, I need a website, I need a bit of marketing, I need ads, all of the stuff that you think you need. Premises, right? The first question you got to ask yourself, can I get it for free? Can I get this damn thing for free or not? Yes or no? That should be the first port of call, because you're a business owner now. That's what business owners do. They don't spend money. Business is about having money, not owing money. Okay. So what can I get for free? I can use websites like Canva to design my stuff. Laura is the Canva queen of Rebel, and she'll be taking us through that in a few weeks' time. We can use websites like SumUp, the payment integration. I can take payments without putting any money up front. I can get money on my website for a small percentage, but I can use the tool for free. I can use Google business profile tools to register my business on Google and do other things, and it's all free. Number 2, what can you borrow? That should be your second question. If I can't get it for free, can I borrow the thing? For example, like Nadia, she borrows space. She's got her own space in a very fancy part of central London. And she was very excited when she told me about it. She said, Simon, you'll never guess what. I said, what? She said, it's got a toilet as well. I was like, no, it hasn't. She borrowed spaces before without amenities, right? But this one had amenities. And she borrowed it. She's not spending any money on premises. And this is near Tower Bridge, I think it is, her place. Question number 3, we say, can I barter? If I can't get it for free and I can't borrow it, can I do a little swap deal? I'll make you cake if you can do a website for me. I'll design a logo for me if you can ... So what can you barter? What skill swap can you do? What can you sell? Now, this is important. If you did need to spend a little bit of money, don't use the money from your current account, your checking account, the one that your bills go. You create a separate little slush fund and you use that money to spend on your business. It's really empowering, because then you can say, right, what is it around my house that I can get rid of? I just don't need anymore. I could sell it. I could stick it on Facebook Marketplace. I could sell it on eBay or Depop. Start shifting some stuff. Create yourself a slush fund of a couple of £100, because it feels you're more free with that money. If you did need to spend a few quid, you're freer with it because it's not tied to bills and rent. That's number 4. Number 5 is the foundational principle for rebels. You sell before you create. It basically means getting paid in advance, either in part or in full, for the product or service that you're selling. And I want every single one of you to think how you could get paid in advance, because when we get onto idea selection in a moment, this is your route to getting started. Now, remember, business has changed. You think, how do I get paid in advance? The rebel way is use your customers' money to build your business and not your own. Does that sound more fun? Because it does to me. Like, I could use my own money, or I could use yours. I love the sound of that. That sounds so much more fun. All right. And that's how I want you guys to think about this. So the process that I'm going to take you through, remember I'm saying I'm breaking it down into steps that anyone can follow. What I'm going to give you in a moment is the information to choose an idea, figure out your target customer, and stick it in front of them and ask them for money and get paid in advance. Those are the 3 steps that I'm going to ask you to be thinking about. Okay. Next part, folks, how to choose a business idea, how to choose an idea. So if you're not quite sure yet Or maybe you've started and this conversation this evening has made you realize that you're probably trying to do too many things at once. How do you focus in? Remember, this is focus week. How do you focus in on the thing that you really need to put your mind and energy and effort into? How do you choose an idea? The first part of this is to do something that you love. Why would you bother doing something that you don't love doing? You might as well go and get a job because it's a lot easier. Right. So the whole purpose of this, to me, in my world, I've just noticed that when things get difficult, I'll be honest with you, like today has been a tough day, right? Today has been a tough day. And round about 5 o'clock this evening, I'm thinking to myself, we've got about 400 or 500 people that are going to be online later on. And I've got to talk for 2 hours and present. And I'm like, I'm not sure I can do it tonight. I don't know if I've got the energy. I don't know if I'm feeling it. Can you tell that? Could you tell that this evening up until this moment that I said it? No, right. So I'm either a really good actor, I'm not, or I'm doing something that I love. And I actually like there's a whole bit of this. I actually love hanging out with you guys. I love the challenge of unpacking business to a bunch of strangers, not all strangers. I know there's lots of faces here that I know and recognize too. That's lovely to see you here. Picking something you love is important. Do what excites you, just like Amja, who's one of the artists from London. And she's chosen art. She's chosen what she's passionate about. And that unlocked her because she's like, well, if I'm passionate about this, then it's okay. I've now got a little bit of extra something inside me that will give me the enough confidence to go and talk to strangers about it. And the more of it that I do, the more of it that I love. Whether you love gardening, it doesn't really matter. It's you choose something that you enjoy, just like Matt. Now, Matt's thing was about carpentry. He's from the south coast of the UK, well, kind of inland a bit, Basingstoke area. What Matt did was he was making videos of carpentry, and he's now got up to 410,000 subscribers with over 50 million views just because he was passionate about something. Okay, so just to give you a sense, I know that there's a few of you interested in the YouTube business model. Where does Matt make his money from? Now, he will be earning anywhere between £2,000 and £10,000 a month, roughly, at the moment. And that will come from a combination of places. Number one, advertising revenue from YouTube. Number two, selling his own products to his growing audience. And then number three is sponsorship. So the kind of companies that are selling tools for carpenters, they want to give him money for sponsorship. So what do you need to get going, folks? You need to take action to make money from day one. I've got a question for you. What's the number one secret to starting a business? Here's my answer. The number one secret to being successful, to starting and being successful in business, is to sell something to someone. And you're like, is that it, Simon? Yes. Because there's lots of noise, isn't there? But what about my brand? What about tax? What about accounting? What about my website and my social media and my followers and my this and my that? Well, what it really boils down to is selling something to someone. And that's what the mini experiment model is about. Pick an idea, pick an audience. The trick to it, though, the thing that you need to figure out is what's your something and who is your someone. If you know the answer to those two questions, you will make sales quickly. Here's what we do. Step one, something. You're going to sell your own service, or you sell your own product, or you can sell a digital product or someone else's product, or you can sell sponsorship like Matt on his YouTube channel. But if you're not quite sure yet, that's okay, because that's going to be the mission this week. Okay, so you're going to choose your something, one thing, not lots of things, because you can't ride two horses with one butt, Frederic.